it's crazy how my journey started because I always knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I just didn't know financial services would be that answer and that piece to the puzzle, because similar to you, I have goals and dreams and different things that my heart desires as far as just like the fashion industry and things of that nature. But it's funny when you manifest things and you put things into the universe, how puzzles start to fit together. And then when you look in hindsight, it's like, that makes so much sense.
Welcome to Manifesting Your Heart's Desires. My name is Beth McGill, and I'm so excited that you are here. I love teaching about manifesting and the law of attraction. And besides teaching, I also love showcasing people around the country that are manifesting their heart's desires. And so today I have someone very special for you to meet. Now, we met a few years ago. We were both in financial services, and I'll never forget, Brianna, we attended a class called 48 Hours where we were training, and we met in Georgia. Now, that's been a few years ago, and many things have happened since then, but I watch you and I see that you are learning as you go, more than most people. And I so admire you. And it seems like you got a little bit quiet on social media. And I know when Brianna Johnson goes quiet in social media, like big things are happening in the world and in her world. And so that's why I wanted to have her on today to share with you about what she's doing and about what she's manifesting in her life. Because, I've had different people on the show. I've had people that were younger and that were older. Some people live on the West Coast. Some people live on the East Coast. Like, there's no parameters about what you need. And again, it's not about luck. It's about learning how to manifest and learning how to think and do things in a certain way. So Brianna, welcome to Manifesting Your Heart's Desires. I'm so happy that you're here. And so I'm going to let you introduce yourself, tell us about who you are, and a little bit about what you're doing in the world. Please share.
All right. So thank you so much for the warm welcome. I am super excited to be here. Manifestation is one of my favorite topics to talk about because I have been doing it for a very long time. Started out doing it not knowing that I was doing it, and then when I realized the power that I do have, I started to take it a bit more serious when I learned it was actually a thing. But yes, my name is Brianna Johnson. I am from Chicago. Like Beth said, we met in financial services. What an amazing journey. Beth is just a beautiful soul. And I am just so happy that you have chose me to be a part of your podcast to talk about this, because this is a very, very powerful tool that anyone can utilize as long as you believe everything is just totally endless. So I'm currently doing, I'm moving around the country, traveling, kind of exploring this digital nomad part-time lifestyle, trying to figure out exactly where my soul wants to flourish and where my energy will be strongest to be able to connect with who I am as a woman to reach the highest potential of myself. So that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm still in financial services. I have started my own financial service company as well called Legend Life. So I'm able to offer more to my clients, which is absolutely amazing. And it's crazy how my journey started, because I always knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I just didn't know financial services would be that answer and that piece to the puzzle, because similar to you, I have goals and dreams and different things that my heart desires, as far as just like the fashion industry and things of that nature. But it's funny when you manifest things and you put things into the universe, how puzzles start to fit together. And then when you look in hindsight, it's like, that makes so much sense. So that's exactly where I am. And it's so funny you said you got quiet on social media. Yeah, I definitely did, because there was a lot of lessons that I learned, and a lot of things that I had to do differently in order to channel the inner me. So I had to let go of a lot of different things, reassess some things, and do some groundwork, shadow work, and all type of stuff. So I am honestly in the midst of one of my biggest manifestations ever. But that is going to be a story I will share. Probably going to write a book about it. We'll see. I'll see what God says about it, and we'll kind of go from there. But yes, you are 100% right. I am in total transformation and undergoing one of the biggest. So I got to use my everything within me for this moment. So yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So many things that I love about what you just said. And I actually hope that people go back and listen to that, because you said so many things in there that were very powerful. Number one, let me just say, the awareness that you have about who you are. Most people don't even do that, right? Most people are so busy going to work, doing what they think they should do in life, and not even taking the time to say, who am I? Who am I on the inside? And then the other part of what you said is that you have to believe, right? Like that really got you. And I think, so there's something behind that. What would you say, what is behind that you had to understand that you could believe in yourself?
Well, I don't think let me see, let's be 100% honest. Have I ever had a problem with belief? I mean, yeah, I think people can have their moments, but my belief system is like super, super strong. And like I said, in hindsight, when you look at things and when I see the things that I unintentionally manifested, because I had that mustard seed of belief, because I journal, because I script, because my father used to tell me, and I think I talked about this at conference one year. I'm not sure if you were there, and I discussed how at a very young age, my father would tell me, Brie, anything you want, write it down. And I'm just like, why? Okay, I'll do it. Didn't understand the workings of why. And I don't even think he really understood it, or maybe he didn't, and he just didn't explain it. But when I look back, everything that I have written down, freaky, scary, has happened. Like, he always told me, put a date on it, put an age, be exact. I did it. And it's just like, oh my gosh. And it's crazy because sometimes you don't even realize it happened until it happens, and you're still just like running, trying to accomplish all these goals. And it's just like one goal after the next, one carrot after the next. And it's just like, hold on, slow down. Wait a minute. Because this is way too powerful. Did I really do that? Like, okay, hold on. Let me take a second to sit in gratitude and just like really feel this energy. I'm literally getting goosebumps like right now, because it's so powerful. So yeah, it's about exploring the belief, looking back in hindsight, and really realizing the power that you have, and being present. I'm learning how to be present a lot more. I didn't really know how to do that because I would always be looking at the future. Like, what are your goals? What do you want to do in 5 years, 10 years? It's just like, wait a minute, hold on. Like, let's look at right now. Like, I'm literally living in my dream home, driving my dream cars. I've moved over through the cash flow quadrant, and I can consider myself to be an investor now, where my money is working for me, transitioning. And these are things that like I knew I wanted, I just didn't know. And now they're just like effortlessly happening through, of course, manifestation, gratitude, and being present is so important. And so that is what's going on. And I'm just super grateful. Like, oh my goodness, I could literally cry right now. Like,
you're figuring it out. No, writing things down. And that was such a powerful lesson that your father taught you, because you don't have to necessarily understand the reasoning behind it, but writing it down there's something behind the energy, right? And there have been shows on this, but I teach, write down everything that you want. Small, it can be that you want a puppy, it can be the smallest thing, but you write it all down. And what I do once a year is I'll go back and look at that, and I'll keep on adding, but intentionally I'll go back in a year. And they say that it's usually about 10%. Like if you just write it down and forget about it, you'll achieve at least 10%. Mine's more like 25%. But honestly, if you just write down what you want, like it's not being selfish, it's just being intentional and getting it on paper. And you might not even understand all the energy behind it, but like Brianna is saying, it does work. But I love how you're being so intentional in your life. And as you're learning, like you're embracing it. You're like, okay, well, what's next? Okay. And it's just so beautiful to watch and see you're actually being in flow. And it seems like you're asking yourself some powerful questions. And I think that being in the present is also part of your journey, right? Because when we're in business, we get so obsessed. And this was what stopped resonating with me in business, is that I felt like we were being taught you had to grind, you had to work hard, you had to reach these goals, you had to call 20 people, but none of that felt good. I mean, I wanted to make money, I wanted to achieve goals, but were those goals my goals, or were they goals that other people thought I should attain, right? But when you get in the now, that's where all change happens, is in the present. And we know that to be true.
And it's so funny. You're talking about business and what felt comfortable, what didn't feel comfortable. And I knew, like, love financial services, love serving people, helping people, changing people's lives with, the how life insurance works and being able to help so many families. I'm not sure if I'll ever step away from that, because I do have a passion for it. But the way to go about doing it is what I feel like I really manifested heavily, because I got tired of being burnt out, driving to people's homes, making all those calls on Sunday. The system works,
right?
But I felt in my heart of hearts that there was a way to attract customers. There was a way for easier flow for me to be able to be me, travel, do this remotely, and customers come to me. So I think COVID, it definitely played a huge shift in my business. And that is when I fully went remote. Like I was kind of like still in homes and doing presentations, but I'm like, I think this is the time. Like everything that I'm asking for is coming full throttle. So now, yes, I am living the Breeze dream, working remote, making more, working less. Like, it's like everything that I asked for, I know that I can attract and create. So I call myself a life artist, because I have the brush in my hand and I'm just painting on my canvas, and it just feels good to create in this realm of life. So I am super grateful, and we have the same sentiments. Like, okay, hold on.
That's why we're here. right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
I believe in my soul that that's why we are here on this planet, that we are here to thrive, flourish, and grow. And that's why I name my business that, is because we're here for the expansion of our soul. And if we don't allow ourselves to be create, if we don't allow ourselves to have fun, then what is there?
Yes, what are we doing? Love that.
So I
Yes.
love seeing that you're embracing that. Tell us a little bit more about your travel and how, have you always wanted to travel? Because
Yeah.
now it sounds like you're in the States right now, but you're traveling to some other countries. I would love to learn more.
Yeah. So yes, I always wanted to travel. There was a point in time in my life I was in corporate like many others. And it just didn't sit right with my heart and soul, trying to climb up that corporate ladder, having a restriction on when I could take vacations or having to tell fibs about why I couldn't come in for the weekend because I always strive to be the best no matter where I worked. So I have been an asset, of course, to any job, right? But I knew that I wanted more because there was restrictions, and I'll never forget having to work every single weekend in retail or wherever I was and not having the luxury to travel. And I would see people traveling and doing all of these things. And I'm like, one day I'm going to be able to make my own schedule, travel the way I want, make money the way I want. I don't know how, but I know it's going to happen. And I feel like that is another huge lesson when it comes to manifesting is not worrying about the how it's going to happen and just asking. Ask and you shall receive, and don't worry about it and just enjoy the journey. And I've gotten really, really good at enjoying the journey and trusting that process. So fast forward now, it's like I'm traveling like nobody's business. Like almost like for a while, it was almost every single month, just traveling, living my best life. And I accomplished something that I really, really wanted to do for my mom and my sister this year. I surprised them and I took them on an all expense paid trip, and they didn't know like where we were going. I'm just like, pack your bags, here are the dates, sent them this cute little invitation. And then they found out once we got to the airport. So that was another like huge thing
Wow.
I said I wanted to do for my mom and my sister. And the impact that it had on them was amazing because they don't travel. So to be able to introduce my joy and treat my loved ones because of the decisions that I've made is so powerful. And I just look forward to doing so much more for my loved ones through my journey of manifesting. So, but yeah, just traveling. I'm going to Bali soon. I'm looking to go to Italy for a month in November. And I'm just going with the flow of life and learning so much about these different countries and what they have to offer outside of what the US has to offer and how it's totally different culturally. And as far as the food, the energy, the air, the sun, how it makes me feel. And I'm just so eager to explore that because it's only going to help me grow more as a person so
Yeah.
that I can love deeper and stronger. Because that's one thing I love to do. I love to give and I love to be surrounded by love. But the only way that you can love more, give more, is if you love yourself first and you treat yourself well. So that's kind of like where I am right now. Yeah.
That's awesome. So all of these points that you're making are like all things that I've written about in my book and that I teach, but it's so great to hear it from you. Because it's something that people have been writing about for thousands of years, the law of attraction, but people just think, oh, it's for somebody else or it can't apply to me. So that's why I love showcasing people like you, Brianna, because you're doing it And you're demonstrating by your actions, by your inspired actions, that it is possible, and it's possible for anyone. And like that, the first chapter that I was just talking about in that book, The Science of Getting Rich, you have the right to be rich. Like it's our birthright, because then we can help other people, and it's for the advancement of humanity, but it's also for the expansion of our soul. Now, I want to go back to a point, because I don't want to just brush over these points, because they're huge, right?
Yes.
And
Okay.
I really want people to understand it. What she said about manifesting is, yes, we have to have that desire. We have to know what we want and put it out in the universe, but it is not our job to know how it's going to happen or when it's going to happen. Like, we can't put a time frame on the exact how and the when. Like, it's not our job to figure it out. Think about it. The universe knows everything. And so we have to let that go. And you mentioned the words let go too. And that's the thing that I think a lot of people have a hard time doing, right? They don't want to let go of things that aren't even serving them. So I think it's really important for people to let that set with them, that yes, we need to ask, we should want to ask for what we want, but we don't have to worry about the how and the when. And the sooner you can let go of that, then the better it is. And another thing that you said that's so important is the joy is in the journey. You can ask, you can have this thing, like, maybe you've never been to Italy and you have this desire to go. But your joy, because you're anticipating it, you may not even know when it's going to happen, but you can be looking at pictures, you can be doing research, you can be figuring out where you want to go. And that feeling of joy and appreciation, knowing that you're going to go at some time, you know it's going to manifest. That joy in the journey it's beautiful, right?
It is so beautiful. And like, you're saying so much, and it's just like, dang, I have all these things. I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, so to kind of piggyback off that, I like to give this example to help people understand the power of letting go and believing. So when you go to McDonald's, right, and you're in a drive-through or wherever, okay, because now I'm vegan, so it's just like, not McDonald's, but this is an example that people can resonate with. So when you go to McDonald's, you go through the drive-through, you say, okay, I want to order a number 9 with a McFlurry and et cetera, et cetera. And they say, okay, is that all? And you say, absolutely, thank you. Okay, you can pull up to the first window. What is going through your mind? Your mind is, I just told them exactly what I want. I know when I pull up to the first window, what I have to do. I'm not thinking anything of it. I'm going to give them the money. And I know when I pull up to the second window, they're going to give me exactly what I ordered. I'm doing my thing. I'm listening to my music. I'm talking to my friend in the car. You're not overthinking it. You're not like, okay, are they going to give me this Whopper, or this burger? Are they going to give me this? Like, no. Manifesting is just like that. You have to treat the universe like a restaurant. Put in your order, let it go, and watch it come to you. Don't have a fear or worry. Like, the universe is our catalog. So you have to have fun with that. And then as far as letting go of things, that is another thing that I had to do a lot of work on, letting go of things that no longer serve you. There are so many relationships that I just had to let go. I was holding on to so much dead weight and just certain people, certain things, certain habits. But it's just like, why am I holding on to this? It's stopping me from flourishing. It's blocking things, because I am trying to say, oh, well, I just gotta stay in this friendship because we've been friends for like ever, and I just gotta stick it through. No, there are so many people in this universe, and once you put it out there, it's crazy how the universe just aligns things and people and puzzles. It's just, you gotta be open-minded and be receptive and be in a position to receive. And that's what I've been doing more of. I used to be a huge people pleaser, and it's like, what will they think of Brie if I did this? Or like, if I didn't do this, like, oh my gosh, I don't want to hurt them. But it was more so hurting me,
Yeah.
not putting myself first. So now it's like, I don't want to be selfish, but I do have to put myself in a position where I can put myself first so I can be of better service to you, better value to you. If I can reach a certain pinnacle in life, I will be more valuable to you. Wouldn't you want that for me? So once people get to that mindset and really get it, that's when gears like shift and the magic starts to happen, and just life gets so beautiful, and the gratitude is just goosebumps and just like joy.
Yeah,
So
I call it living a life of magic and miracles, because you're not worried about anything. It's when you let go of what other people, I don't care what anybody thinks. I don't care about the outcome. Like, I'm in the moment. I even have a piece of paper right here that says, do not be concerned about the outcome. Like, that's not my job either. My job is to be in the present. And I really don't care what other people think, because I am tuned in into what I'm supposed to be doing in this world. I know who I am. I know I'm a spiritual being having a physical experience. I know I'm here for joy. I know I'm here for expansion. And if somebody doesn't agree with that, like they have their own journey. We all have our own journey. Like, I don't think I'm supposed to be living a nomadic life, but you are, and that's beautiful. We all have our own journey. We all have our own way to further our expansion. And I think the more that we can hold each other up and show that unconditional love for ourselves and for others, because it's not being selfish, like you said, it's honoring who you are and knowing that, yes, I have to love myself unconditionally first, and then I can love others, and then I can serve others. It's my goal every day to want to serve and inspire other people. But I know that I have to be true to who I am, and I have to understand who I am. So, like you, have I had to let many relationships go? Absolutely. Absolutely. Because a lot of people didn't understand when I transitioned and went from teaching to financial services. My teacher friends thought I was crazy. Like, why would you leave? If you just put in 5 more years, 10 more years, your pension will be X, Y, and Z. And it's like, I didn't care. I wanted to be able to help more people. So along my journey, it has become the norm, I guess, to that relationships go away when people don't understand you, because you're expanding, and it sounds like you're experiencing that as well.
yes, definitely experiencing that, but I feel like it's such a beautiful experience. Simply because I was a huge uh people pleaser, and just tried to overly support others, but like I mentioned, it hurt me at the end because my expectations would be too high. And it's just like, but I'll never do you like that. If the shoes were flipped, and it's just like, no, you gotta let go and let people be who they're gonna be. I was just talking to my sister about this today, because that was a lesson that I learned, that I was reminded of today. Just like, let go, let people be who they're gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
Naturally, that will show you the next step that you need to take. And if it's separation, it's gonna be beautiful. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, you are your biggest asset. And it's important that you protect your peace and your energy so that you can continue to attract. So yeah.
Yeah. So talking about that, what is something that you do daily to help you protect your energy? Like, what are some of the habits that you've created in your life to be able to really, like you said, know who you are and protect your energy and find this place where you're in right now that's beautiful and you're shining brightly in the world? But how have you been able to manage that? Like, tell the audience some things that you do.
So on a daily, I write. I'm a huge, as of lately, kind of been falling off a little bit just due to travel and business and things of that nature. But usually I always carry three. I got 3 journals. One is for me to write exactly how I feel, my true, honest emotions, how I feel two, I have my second journal is my notebook is to write 3 or more things that I'm grateful for every single day. Or, when I have the time to do it, and I try to do it every day. And then I script. So scripting, you probably talked about this as well. It's where you're writing as if you're already presently where you want to be, no matter what it is. So if you want to travel to a certain place, or if you plan on being married, or whatever the case may be, you'll write as if you're already there, like, oh yes, my wedding was so beautiful, and everybody just, and you just elaborate and you feel those emotions, and it's just like you're attracting more. But then also, I'm huge on prayer. I'm huge on prayer, and I'm huge on reflecting. And if I'm wrong, I don't like apologizing and getting it out of my system. Or if there is something that I'm feeling, I don't like it to harbor inside of me. So learning to communicate, because I was not always an avid communicator, I will hold so much in, which is detrimental for a lot of different reasons. But just learning to communicate effectively, to get those harsh emotions out and let it go, that's another practice that I have been, definitely doing. So
yeah, forgiveness is a daily activity. It really is. And when you get really, when it gets really easy, and when you can become aware, like, oh, I shouldn't feel that, like, where's that bitterness or that resentment? I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let it go. Because again, it's not our job to judge anyone.
Yeah.
Right. We just let that go. So yeah, I find that to be true too. And one of the things I teach, and it's in the book, is life scripting. And it's what you said. It's like, I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm living this nomadic lifestyle. I can travel wherever I want to. I'm playing with so-and-so, and I'm going to this country, and I'm doing this. And yeah, but writing it out to the detail that feels comfortable. And then I add something to it. So having it written out, and then I tell people to go onto Audible. You can download it and record it. Record your life script, and then listen back to it every day in your own voice. It's very powerful.
I would have never thought of that. And it's crazy because I just started to journal from a video perspective. So I have, like, in my phone, it's just like, I'll talk to the camera. I'm just like, this is a new thing that I just started this year. So I'm looking forward to trying that out. And kind of, this is something that I wanted to bring up before, when you said we all have the right to be rich. I am 100% agree with that. And that's one of the things that I manifested first for myself, was money. And I have these checks that I got from Amazon, where they're blank checks, manifestation checks. And I write down these huge amounts. Like, I have 2 checks in my wallet right now. Are they still? Yeah, 2 checks in my wallet right now that I wrote back in 2000. One was 2018. I forget the other one. I've accomplished 1.
Nice.
And the second one is on the way.
On its way.
So it's so powerful. And the power behind writing those checks, folding them up, and putting it in your wallet is, like we've been talking about, is you're writing it down, putting it in the universe, you're forgetting it, but you're carrying it around. So it's like following you everywhere you go. And I've done the same thing with my relationship, because I am in a relationship, and there were, prior to this relationship, I was in a horrible, well, I wouldn't say horrible. It was a life lesson, right? Contrast is clarifying. It helps you identify exactly what serves you and what does not serve you. So I wrote down a list of qualities that I wanted in a man. Like, wrote it down, folded it up, put it in my drawer, walked away, right? Like, whatever. If it comes, it comes. And you never know how that package is going to come when it's delivered. Sometimes it's, like, it's like, I don't know. I have that. And I am just so grateful for my better half because it's all of these things. And I tell him, like, dude, you're crazy. Like, this is weird. Like, but I appreciate this so much because this is everything that I needed. And I said I wanted. And it's like you're giving it to me. And I'm still learning how to receive these certain things because I'm, still healing and growing and getting to know myself and doing all this groundwork. But it's just such a beautiful journey. And
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah. There's so much power in writing it down. And then the other part of it too is knowing that you're worthy of receiving. So many times people say they want to use the law of attraction. They want to manifest something, but they don't believe that they're worthy of it. And you have to. You have to know that you're worthy of receiving. So that's beautiful. So much knowledge. Now, Brianna, I'm going to ask you a question. How old are you?
They say I'm 34. And I say this, I've been saying this as of recently, like a lot, because it's like, who created time? What's this illusion? We got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 12 o'clock, blah, blah, blah. Is that really what it is? So they say I'm 34, whatever.
According to when you were born.
Exactly. But I feel amazing, youthful, like great, and just, yeah.
Well, yes, I agree. But the reason why I wanted to ask that question, because I time is an illusion.
Yes.
It doesn't exist, right? So sounds like we can agree on that. And the same thing with age. But as far as the years that you've had on this planet, I just want people to know that you don't have to wait, right? You don't have to go through a career like I did. You don't have to wait to be able to manifest your dreams. Like my learning, like it took me 10 years to go through my spiritual journey. I wrote my book to demonstrate to people that you can expedite the situation. Like, here's 30 exercises I did, like go do them, like go through this spiritual journey. But my spiritual journey didn't even start till like I was in my 50s. But now that's what I love having you on the show, because I want people to realize that like age is not a factor. You can achieve your goals. You can manifest. You can be, do, or have whatever you want. And it's not a matter of age. It's not a matter of where you live. It doesn't matter like what your parents did. Like none of that matters, but it comes down to your belief in yourself, loving yourself, and really taking the time and doing the effort. I mean, she just demonstrated how much she writes. Like that's putting in, we call it the work, right? Like we have to do something to understand who we are as this spiritual being, having this physical experience. And Brianna is doing that. She's a perfect example. And I just think it's so beautiful what you're doing in the world and how you're growing and how you're expanding. And I can't wait to see like where it takes you even further, because I see how much you've grown, but I also see like this is still the baby steps for you. Because I know how much energy, well, I feel like that way for me too. So I'm celebrating my birthday in Costa Rica in November, going on a surfing retreat, and I'm going to be 63. Like for me, I feel in better shape than I was when I was 33, like physically.
Yes. And you look amazing. Like, oh my goodness. I would never have thought 63. What? Okay, whatever. But it's an illusion. Don't worry.
It is an illusion. And the thing is like, but I do the inner work. I do the outer work. I pay attention to mind, body, spirit. You know, do I work out every day? Yeah, I do, because I know that I want to take care of this vessel. But I do the spiritual work as well. And you are too. And that's what it takes. And that's what I want the listeners to know. We're all not going to do everything the exact same way, but listen to see what resonates for you. And I always say meditate. But meditation can look differently for different people. It can be sitting, it can be standing, it can be walking, it can be playing a sport, it can be swimming. You don't know until you try. So I hope my desire is that people are going to watch this. They're listening to your words, Brianna. They're seeing that you are a force, that you are a woman who knows who she is, and you're doing it because you acknowledge that you're here for expansion. You acknowledge that you're learning about who you are so that you can serve others. So is there anything else that you want the audience to know? And you can share about your work, how you're serving. It can be where maybe they can find you, whatever it is that you want to share. Any last
Well, you
minutes?
can find me on all Facebook, Instagram, Brianna Kayla J. That's where you can find me so that we can connect. Yes, I am in financial services, so I am a life insurance specialist. So that is my well, I don't even know the word for it. I'm just like, that is what I do to serve people for work. But as far as just to kind of like end things off, your belief system is so important. And like Beth said, anybody can do it. It's just having that mustard seed of faith and not worrying about the how-tos and enjoying the journey, and don't not be so stronghold on that destination. It can be easier said than done, but once you let go and let God or whoever, if you have a higher belief, something that you believe higher in, that's when life gets really, really good and fun. So just be easy on yourself, show yourself grace and gratitude, practice love every day, and enjoy this experience, because life is truly the ultimate experience and you are in control.
Awesome. Oh, that was powerful. Now you left that to the end, but you are in control. Yes, that's another chapter in my book. It's so funny. And that's the thing. You have to know that you're in control. It's so interesting because I was a guest on a podcast last weekend, and it was a young gentleman. He was 25.
Okay.
And he had really never learned much about the law of attraction. So everything that I was saying was blowing him away.
Ah,
We talked for 2 hours
love
because
it.
he had question after question after question.
You are just the beginning of something so powerful for him. He'll never forget you. Like, oh my goodness, when I learned about the law of powerful work. Love that.
I blew his mind.
Yep, I know.
Over and over and over and over. He goes, I think I got 2 hours of a free consultation. I go, I think you did.
Yeah.
But at the end, he asked this question. He goes, how do I get rid of the fear? And in my mind, I'm thinking, you're 25, like you just graduated from a university. But I respected his question. And I gave the most honest answer I could. I said, who's thinking in your head? And he looked at me. I go, but wait, you're having a fearful thought. No one's in your head making you have a fearful thought. And it was like, oh, like I can switch that. I can change my thought. So that was the beginning of my showing him and demonstrating to him that he's in control.
Feel that fear, and do it anyway. I've just been introduced to mind chatter. My better half, he was helping me, like through mind chatter and controlling it, and just like really going into my mind and knowing how to hush it, to focus, because there can be a lot of different things going on in our head. But also another thing about manifestation, and like sometimes when it comes to fear and disbelief or whatever these negative emotions that you're feeling, there is a delay in manifesting, so you don't have to worry about like, oh my God, did I think the wrong thought, like blah 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 blah. You can switch that. You can switch that, but it takes work to become mentally strong. I'm still fighting through some things. I'm still working. It's a daily work in progress, but the journey is fun. It's cool. Like, it's so cool once you really get into it.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait for this recording to get out into the world. So thank you everyone for listening. And it was so much fun introducing Brianna, to all of you. Yes. So I will see you next week for manifesting your heart's desires. Never miss a video by subscribing to our channel. Click the button now to join our community. Thank you.